Now it's time to be dangerous. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you can impact. Now it's time to find out what you were destined to become.
Welcome back, everybody, to Raw Minds podcast. I'm your host, Eric. This show is about real stories, real struggles, and real growth. If you're here, or if you're new here, make sure you hit the follow, share this episode with someone who needs it, and drop a comment, because these conversations are here to help people who might be fighting those battles in silence. But before we bring in today's guest, I want to quickly share something I've been building behind the scenes. I've been working on an app called the Legacy Method. It is a coaching platform built around real life transformation, mental health, physical health, emotional discipline, and rebuilding your life after loss. The app includes things like daily check-ins, journaling, breathwork, fitness plans, meal guidance, worksheets, community support, and even an AI coach to help you guide you through your growth. The goal is to give people the tools to rebuild their lives one step at a time. Now, today's guest fits perfectly with that message. Today, we are joined with Adam. Adam is a men's mental health advocate, entrepreneur, author, and the father of 4 who speaks openly about rebuilding his life after a total collapse. His story is not just theory, it is lived experience. Adam once weighed over 640 pounds and battled food addiction, alcohol, depression, gambling addiction, that led to loss of more than $1 million. His life spiraled to the point where he even served time in prison. Instead of hiding from that truth, Adam did head on. He is now speaking openly about accountability, masculinity, identity, and even what it takes to rebuild your life when everything falls apart. He is also the author of the book Saints and Sinners, which dives into brotherhood, loyalty, and the search for identity in a world where trust is hard to earn. Adam does not pretend to have it all figured out. He speaks from the middle of the work, the messy part where men trying to rebuild themselves, their families, and their purpose. So today we're going to talk about addiction, transformation, fatherhood, masculine, and what it really means to take responsible for your life. Adam, welcome to Raw Minds, man. I appreciate you coming on and reaching out, and here you are, brother. Welcome.
Eric, man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Before I start, I like to get all my guests to plug their stuff. So if you can plug where people know how to find you and let the world know.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm Big Adam 604 on Instagram, Adam Boyd on Facebook, a Big Adam's Journey on TikTok and YouTube, Big Adam's Weight Loss Journey, on TikTok and YouTube. And that's me, man. I'm here.
And your book, brother, your book.
Saints and Sinners is it's been out since it's kind of surreal. I don't want to say I forget about it sometimes, but it's been a real when people are like, "Oh, you wrote a book, Adam?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I did." And then I kind of, life gets so chaotic, whatever. But it's Saints and Sinners is available everywhere. Chapters Indigo, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all across North America. It's a cool story. It's something that I've never seen done before. Somebody that watches this, if you've seen that story before, please let me know. Because, we've seen different TV shows and movies about certain aspects of different cultures. Mine kind of brings 3 into 1 in there. So it's a story of family and love and betrayal. And, it's one of those things, man,
Yeah. Well, and you know what, man? I mean, that's life, and it made you who you are today, and you're out here, you're changing, you're helping people, it built you that grit. Well, I bet you are, man. I bet you are, brother. Even, there's Anthony came on the show a long time ago. He was a co-host, and he said, do you know the starfish? Do you know the starfish story?
No.
Okay, so this man's walking along the beach and he sees this little boy, and this boy's picking up these starfish and throwing them back in the ocean. And the beach is just filled with all these starfish, right? Yeah. The man's like, "What are you doing?" And the boy's like, I'm trying to save the starfish." He's like, "Well, there's thousands of them on the beach." He's like, "You can't save them all." Well, the boy looks at him, grabs another one, throws it. He's like, "I saved that one." So what that means is, like, it's you're doing something, but even though you're not getting feedback, there's people out there that are taking that in. You know what I mean? You never know. And that's why my slogan is, we do this for the ones that you never know, or that we never meet. I mean, for the ones we never meet, right? So
So true, bro. So true. No, it's almost poetry how you speak, and I appreciate that because
no,
the journey is a battle, man. It's a daily grind. Men and women out there that know about it, ones that are not ready to talk about things in their life yet. It's I hear you, I've heard you, and I'm here showing you that if someone like me can do it, you can do it because it's as much as it brings up a lot of stuff, it's also healing in the same time. So I'm grateful to be able to be that vessel for that. And thank you.
you're welcome. And yeah, man, that's what it is. It's about getting that, releasing that off your chest, releasing
Yeah.
that, and getting that weight off of you.
Yeah. No pun intended.
No pun intended. I was gonna say, speaking of which, I would love to, if you want to start, like, let us know about a bit of your journey, man, and how you got
Yeah.
to this book too, please.
Fair enough. So I struggled with weight my whole life. I grew up in Coquitlam, the Tri-Cities area, just a suburb outside of Vancouver. People that know me know that I've been big my whole life. Big Boyd was a nickname of mine since I was like 12 years old. I just I never really understood the premise of why I overate. I think I just, I was always just thought I was hungry, really, honestly. And emotionally, I never really was tapped into that as a child. So I kind of as I get older and I realize and I look back and I learn and I study kind of how the trajectory of how we got to be where we are. Yeah, I was eating for comfort and, it's got me to be 640 pounds. Basically, well, no, I was suicidal, severe alcohol addiction for close to 10 years and also gambling. And I don't want to brag that I've done it all, but the only thing I haven't really had is a drug problem. Knock wood, we ever have that. But yeah, no, I've been there, man, and it's just it's one of those things that I'm truly working on. I'm down 156 pounds so far.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're the goal is 300. I have my first initial appointment booked for weight loss surgery in June coming up, and then it'd be sometime next in 2027 it actually hopefully gets done. But it's a long journey, man. It's probably going to be a 3 or 4 year thing, and hopefully by the time I'm 40 I'm a new man, and I'm 36 right now, and
Hell yeah.
we're 14 months in.
Hell yeah, man. And you know what?
Yeah.
This is like almost like you're shedding your skin and becoming this. I know this is gonna sound stupid, but like a butterfly. You know what I mean? Though, like,
100%, bro.
that's what it is, man.
100%. Yeah.
I know it sounds whatever, but I mean
No,
it's
no,
true,
it's facts. It's facts.
right? And it's
Yeah.
like all of that, I would say, not just like your body weight, right? But like also all of that, the pain and all that shit that you carried,
Yeah.
it's when all this happens and you feel, because this is what you're going for, is you want to be healthy, you want to feel it, right? You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
mindset, all this. And that's just gonna shed everything away, man. And you're this brand new, and this is what you're working on, man. And
Yeah.
this is a real life, and it's inspiring, bro. It's
Oh,
fucking
thank you, Eric.
inspiring for anybody out
Thank
there
you.
that sees this, from like 600 plus pounds and losing
Yeah.
and killing it, man. You're showing up, you're being accountable. I see your live, like I saw your live one, and your videos, man. You're accountable, you're
Yeah.
showing up, you're doing your thing, man. I mean,
It,
it's
Thank you.
amazing, dude.
Thank you.
You know?
I appreciate that. It's one of those things that I've had to kind of continue, even though there's weeks that I don't want to do them. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about kind of what it's like in that cocoon phase. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
that's where we are right now. I was a caterpillar, a very fat caterpillar for a long time, and we put ourselves into a point of we were close to death, and we cocooned, and now we're punching out of it one day at a time. And
Fuck yeah.
yeah, the weekly check-ins is really more of I think it's truly a promising thing for me and for others to understand that, like, countless times I've chatted with, guys about how, like, especially when you're drinking and, true emotions come out and the tears and the hugs and the, I don't want to call it bullshit, but it's like, it's not sober thoughts, it's
Yeah.
drunk talk,
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of that comes from how you're feeling internally. And I know for myself, I craved that for a long time. So I thought that me being vulnerable, me standing in front of it and showing up every week and showing people that this is what healing looks like. It's kind of like a tradition, a transition thing.
Yeah.
And people can watch it once a week. It's kind of like a TV show, so to speak, but it's just a 3-minute thing. Yeah, I just talk about my week and try to dive into what's going on in my life and where my mind's at. I've done a couple of videos where I'm, just finished having a severe panic attack or something like that to kind of show where I'm at, and
Mhm.
it's one of those things that instead of, men dying in silence, you can be like, oh, well, Big Adam's doing it. Why can't I? So here
And
we are.
And how do you feel by like showing up and doing these? Like, how does this, like, from you before to you now? Like, oh, how does that, like, how are you feeling? Like just knowing, showing up, having these accountabilities, and pushing forward, in your mindset. What's the change been like?
I'm very grateful for it. It's a lot of it's new territory for me, right? I'm very I don't know how to take a compliment. I don't know how to when someone says they're proud of me, I think it's double edged. Like, what are you really trying to say? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know how to take it. So I'm learning how to, like, when someone comes at me and says, hey man, like, we're proud of you, it's like, okay, dope, and like, sure, it's not like that all the time, but I think for me it's been a lot of it's truly just learning how to kind of sit in it and sit in that the feeling of being uneasy and not running for the bottle or gambling or going to the fast food restaurant and ordering two Whoppers or Big Macs. And I know it sounds fucked up, but it's be the same as a guy that's had a bad day and rips a line because
Yeah.
he's stressed out, so it's that kind of shit that sitting in that is the hardest part. And I mean, the last few days has been very hard for me. I don't, Mercury retrograde, whatever's going on out there in the universe, bro. It's hit me full force, but I'm grateful for this opportunity and to talk about it because it's real. And I know it's real feelings because a lot of other people out there are feeling it.
Well, you're feeling it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean? So it's got to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
real.
100%. Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
on
No,
here
no.
just faking this shit,
No,
right?
no, no. This is a real deal, baby.
Yeah,
Real
man.
deal. Yeah, you
Exactly,
bet.
right?
You bet, man.
Speaking of that, like, what point did you realize that you had to take full responsibility of your life instead of blaming the criticisms? I mean, blaming
So
the circumstances.
sure, sure. So I think for myself, learning that attribute would be rock bottom for me, put me into living in a trailer just outside of Mission where I lived for 15 years. My kids were with me, separated, was, 638 pounds at the time. The bathroom in the trailer I couldn't fit in. It was just a fucking nightmare. Excuse my language, but
No, this
and
is
I,
raw minds. You can fuck
okay,
all. Yeah,
beautiful.
don't worry
All
about
right.
it,
Thank
buddy.
you. But I think from there, and then just like from that kind of point, and then I was able to get a little bit grounded. And then, I started using GLP-1s, which Ozempic things that's what truly changed my life was being able to kind of submit myself to this thought that I'm going to let medicine save me because I've been so scared to like, I'm not a pill guy. I'm not like I mentioned earlier, I don't like drugs. It's not my
Mhm.
thing. I barely take an Advil when I have a headache. So I thought of, injecting this thing into me. What is it going to do to me? Am I going to drop dead? And it was this panic for years. And finally, I just was at a point where I could barely walk anymore, bro. Like it was bad. Like, 10, 15 steps. I was punched walking upstairs, being a huge sweat, heart palpitations. It was brutal, and
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be active with my kids anymore. I mean, just as a man, I wasn't there. I was
Mhm.
fucked. January 13th, 2020, I guess that'd be 2025. I said, fuck it. I'm going to do it. And it was the best decision I ever made.
Fuck yeah! You just gave me crazy goosebumps all through my body right now, man. Like that
Well,
makes me proud, bro.
I'm happy we're on the
Yeah.
same energy, bro.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
No.
want to say, like, because you went through this, right? And you went through, obviously, when it comes to this, there's addiction and shame and all this stuff when coming through this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of men struggle silently with that, right? Why do you
Mm.
think, from your aspect and going through that, like I've gone through that myself too, So why do you think men are so afraid for asking for help, like from your point of view?
I mean, hope is looked at as, I guess, in a whole bunch of ways. I think that, men as a whole, looking weak is a big
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
interesting perspective that a lot of people think of like, oh, he's sad, he's a bitch, he's this, he's that. Hey, man, I know some very strong people who cry. You know what I mean? And from what, and I don't want to be the cliche guy about, it takes a lot more to cry than it does not to, but it's reality, man, because you need to tap into what's fucking with you in order to help yourself.
Yeah.
Even this morning, I was having a tough morning, and I had a little bit of an emotional pull where I was down for a minute, you know what I mean? And I think just it's the keep punching method of like getting up and continuing on. But I it's men are scared to be heard because they're nervous of being judged.
Well, and that's
It's all
why I
what it
have this
is.
platform, right?
Yeah.
For men like you and hundreds more, because I'm in my hundreds of episodes
Yeah.
that come on to share these, to show that actually, for me, I know everybody says, but true strength is showing your feelings and not
Yes.
and being that, because we're men, we're stuck. Like for me, my dad would be like, "Oh, you're depressed, fucking suck it up, like get over it."
Mhm.
Oh, you'll be happy in 5 minutes. Like get over it, be a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And we never got to be able to really
No.
feel,
No.
and I
No.
know it's not an excuse, and I'm not trying to like victim mentality shit like this,
Excuse me.
but because of these things that I went through and being pushed through, put me down the path that, let's say, wasn't really best for me. It
Oh yeah.
sorted it pushed me down those paths. You know what I mean? When I didn't
Mhm.
know how to express my feelings, I didn't know how to talk of how I felt. And I just used it as anger. And that's what
Yeah.
I pushed it to. And
Yeah.
people got hurt or I got hurt. Either way, that's what happened. And
Yeah.
it's a really sad it's a sad way to express, but this is why I have this platform now and have wonderful guests like yourself and so many other come on to show
Right.
different techniques and show different ways and show different things that someone can use. Someone may not listen to this, or someone may listen to this episode, not the techniques that we talk about or whatever we're talking about may not relevate to them. Another episode might, like everybody's different,
100%.
so this is why I do this to help, man. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing that what you're doing too. Like I said, like we spoke earlier, man. It's for the ones that we never meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, no, I do. It's just one of those things that I feel very I lost my dad in 2014, very
My
short bout
condolences.
with thank you, with esophageal cancer, and he actually died in my arms on my wedding day in our family home. I went to pick him up and he dropped dead, and that haunted me from a long time. But where it's kind of gotten to me now is being a father of, three sons, and I have a daughter too. But, having that, like I grew up, my dad was an old East Ender, and he was
Yep.
born in 1944, and he was tough. He was
Mm.
tough. He went on to be successful in the trucking industry in British Columbia and all across North America. But that came at a price because I was looked at as kind of like the glass house kid, right? I was there, but I people looked right through me. And so I think now I really am doing this so like in 20, 30 years, 40 years, my sons can look back and be like, no, dad tried. You know what I mean? Dad
Mhm.
didn't know what he was doing because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just some
But you're
advice my dad.
doing. You're
Yeah, no,
fucking
no,
doing, bro, and that's it,
100%.
man. You know?
100%. No, and I asked my dad probably a week before he passed away. I said, "You got any regrets in life?" And he goes, "No, Adam." He's like, "I just got up every day and went to work, and it worked out." And and that's what I'm doing with this. It's just I don't
Mhm.
know where it's gonna go. I just hope that somebody out there, if they're hurting and sad, they can see this and be like, "Oh, Big Adam was
Mhm.
hurting. I'm hurting. He was able to be vulnerable and try to heal
Yeah.
himself. I'm gonna try the same." And that's the goal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Other
And
than
or
that,
they pick up your book too, man. And I
yeah,
wanna get into that. I'm not trust me, this is like I wanna get into that too,
yeah,
okay? So
I'm
like,
down.
please,
Yeah.
we're
No,
not like, I'll
uh,
remind you as much as possible. Like I wanna get into that shit, right? This is why we're here, brother. This is why
yeah,
we're
I
here. You
know.
know what I
I
mean?
know. I know. I
I got
appreciate
you.
that. We can go so many lanes, bro. And I got things with all through my life. So I'm open to, just ask. I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I do want to actually get into your book, man. So like
Yeah,
you started, like what kind of made you just write this? Like
sure.
what kind like I want to like your mindset of like how
Sure.
what got
Okay.
you into that?
So I first saw a movie. I mean, I'm a huge movie guy. I've been my whole life. You seen the
What's your
movie The
favorite?
Bronx?
Oh,
Well,
hell
I
yeah.
mean, that's okay. So, I mean, it depends on the genre because I can't just pick a movie because it has to be like, are we going? like if I had top 5, then that'd be easier for me.
Let's do top
Um,
5. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Oh,
That's all right. Put you on the spot.
no, it's cool. Like Rio Bravo is a John Wayne movie with
Yeah.
Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson from the 1950s.
Yeah.
It's or it might have been the 60s, sorry, but it's one of my actual favorites. My dad and I, we enjoyed it. There's a song in it called My Rifle, My Pony and Me, which Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson sing in that. That's become iconic. They've done it. It's been in The Sopranos. It's been in a lot of people have covered it lately as well. So it's coming back around. But it's a beautiful. It's the movie's great. It's called Real Bravo. It's a 10 for sure. You know, I like Casino. I don't like the way Casino ends. I don't.
Casino's
you know,
amazing movie,
yeah,
bro. Definitely.
it really is, bro. I just, I don't like the weird shit with, Buddy trying to bang the guy's old lady, and it's just that's just bad action for me. I wasn't a fan of that, but I mean, when I was younger, I really loved it. Goodfellas, I loved too, and until I grew up and realized how the story was written, and it's hard for me to watch it now.
After when you're an adult,
yeah. I can't. It's tough.
How about
it's just
Reservoir Dogs?
Love it. Michael Madison was, I had a chance to meet him 3 years ago, and I didn't go to LA that time, and I missed it. And I'm really upset at myself that I did, because he's, I first saw him in Free Willy. And then for him to be, because I'm a 90s kid, right? But I mean, Reservoir Dogs is beautiful. I like the movie Sleepers is good.
Sleepers is good too.
Yeah. Godfather 1 and 2. I like 3.
I haven't watched them, man.
Oh,
man. I know, I've watched bits and pieces of it,
right?
But and I'm a big gangster movie guy, man.
Yeah,
you know what? My favorite, and a lot of people don't know this, but Paid in Full. I don't know if you ever seen it.
Of course,
that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
man. If you haven't seen Paid
in
Full, man. If you haven't seen Paid in Full, that's a gangster movie, man. That's really good. Yeah.
I love it. Rico slime bag at the end, though. But that shit actually happened.
And that's reality, man. I think I know some slime bag things that's happened. I mean, I know about slime bag things happen to me.
Sure,
probably that's life. Man.
It is. No,
and
it is.
I'm not. I've done some slime bag shit. What you see is what you get, man. I'm not afraid to tell you. I've done stupid shit in my past. You know what I mean? That punk shit. But you grow from that, right? You know what I mean?
1,000%.
You grow from that, yeah. But let's talk. Let's hear about this book.
So in A Bronx Tale, there's a scene where the guys are in this social club, and a group of motorcycle, a club comes in. They kind of toss the bar up a little. They're spilling beer everywhere. They get warned not to do that. From there, the fight instills, and it's a big thing. And to this day, I mean, I don't really know who would have won that fight. I think in modern times, I think But again, it's that's how they wrote it. But I love the scene. And from there, about 10 years ago, I was like, why is this not a story? Why has no one written about this? Then I really, as I got older, I really liked Sleepers. I liked Robert De Niro's character in that as the father, and he kind of looks after the kids. And at the end of it, he saves the guys from the murder beef because he swears on the Bible. And I really loved how that father showed up for them. I think his name's Father Phil in the movie, but those kids, they grew up and they went to that crazy juvenile detention thing, and they were brutally abused. You know what I mean? So I thought okay, I love that aspect of the father role, kind of looking out for these kids. And then I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I like mob culture. I like that the kind of mystique to it. Motorcycle culture. I'm also, I love it. I love the Americana about it. I love the idea of the Brotherhood. 100%. I love it all. Love it all. I'm a big fan of it. And I thought, how could you tie them together? I mean, anybody could write a story about two guys, not getting along. And I'm like, but how do you tie it? And I said, well, then they're brothers. And then that's kind of how it went. And then I was like, well, how did they do that? And then I cooked the story for 10 years in my mind. I have a relative who's a movie guy, and I had told him about it years ago. And he's like, oh, you should write a script. And he gave me a real script to write or to read. And I have severe ADD, so I couldn't get through a script, right? But as the years progressed, and as I told more people about the idea, and I thought more and more about it, and when I got sober, I was like, fuck, I'm just going to put it on paper and we're going to make it happen. And that's what we did. So the story basically follows two brothers that get separated at birth due to a tragic accident in their neighborhood. They go to live in a group home. One brother gets adopted to a woman whose boyfriend is like a, I guess, a prospect for a motorcycle club. So that boy raises and is raised around motorcycle culture and that sort of thing. Tells the story of that. And then the other brother doesn't get adopted out to a family due to you're going to have to read to find out. But anyway, he stays in the inner city with the kids. And in the inner city, there's a local family there, and he gets kind of taken under the wing as a, kind of kid running numbers or whatever. And from there, they grow up in these totally different lives. And in the background, these two groups hate each other. So they're constantly fighting. So now you have two brothers who are actively searching this idea of who they were. Their parents are both gone. They died tragically. How did this happen? I know one way. There's another way. And then they fall in love with the same girl. And then the rest is, you got to read about it.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, guys. It's
Thank you.
really crazy. Like
I appreciate that.
I have what you sent me there.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's pretty wild. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
I like
No,
I like the concept too is pretty crazy, man. So
yeah. And I mean, I'd never seen the story before. Sons of Anarchy. I really love that show. Sopranos is a huge show to me that I love it. I mean, even my boys are starting to watch it now and they love it. We just got a cameo from John Sacramone, Vincent Terratola.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So my boys have kids these days, they joke and they laugh and have fun. And they say Johnny Sack a lot at home. They're like, oh, Johnny Sack did 20 years in the can, but they get Phil Leotardo and Johnny Sack. Anyway, so the way they always make grilled cheese on the radiator jokes and shit like that. And one night I was like, fuck, I'll get a cameo from this guy and surprise him. And I did. And then the kid shit. So it was cool. You know what I mean? And, but yeah, no, I wanted to see the story come alive and I wrote it.
That's amazing, man. Good.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I really do.
Thank
I think
you.
like you said, like the two different brothers coming around, two
Yeah.
different lives, and
Yeah.
they're blood, but they don't know each other, fighting each other, and then fall in love with the same girl. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool, man. Honestly,
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they start fighting with each other. And then
yeah,
the father that was the guy in the group home kind of splits them up and brings them together and
yeah,
shows them the picture that no one's ever seen before. And then they realize what's more
who?
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck yeah,
And
man.
is it the family you've been searching for your whole life that was never there because it was taken from you? Or is it the family that you're taught to love and
Yeah.
because it's that idea of what you're searching for?
Well, and if you're gonna have to find out, so get the book.
That's
and you
right.
can Find out.
Yeah. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah. No, it's everywhere. It's Chapters, Indigo, Amazon, Apple, Barnes and Noble. It's all
Here, I'll
across
put it
North America.
I'll put it up one more time on the screen there so people can see it, and it'll be in the link in the bio too, so you guys can hit the link and
Yeah.
check it out. Yep.
Thank you, man.
So I'd love to know, like, back to you. How is your mindset? Like, how did you train your mindset? Like, did it just snap one day and be like, this is what I got to do? Or was it like,
No, bro.
yeah,
It's an everyday
just
battle.
for people out there, you
It's
know what I mean?
There's no cheat sheet to this.
Yeah.
It's an everyday grind and it's tough. It's one of thong things that like I'm gonna get emotional thinking about it because it's like it's a hard go, man. And it's a hard go when you're really trying to save your life and you're being vulnerable, you're healing years of childhood, years of childhood shit, right? And then it's I mean, people, like I'm dealing with some right now with my mom where she's deep into addictions and she's been in and out of the hospital lots over the last year, probably 15 times. And, just seeing the serious decline and how messed up British Columbia health is and, the falling through the cracks thing that I've probably heard 20 times in the last year is just, it's very frustrating. And, it's like, I'm still trying to heal my childhood stuff with me and my
Dealing with
mom,
that. Yeah.
100%. And now I'm watching her get
Yeah.
sick
Yeah.
and I'm living it. So that's hard, being 600 plus pounds and losing weight and trying to not fall into the same traps. I mean, there's every other day I want to go get hammered. I miss
Yeah.
drinking. I really do. But unfortunately, me and alcohol just don't get along. And I'm not the guy that can just have one beer and be social. I'm learning how to. When I work in the auto industry, so when I get a day off, I try to maybe go to like my old pub that I used to go to all the time and have a non-alcoholic beer or have two or three, trying to have that social aspect without the alcohol because it's so easy. And I miss that because going to the pub, having a few vodkas, and then all of a sudden you're on an adventure somewhere and you're
Mm-hmm.
buzzed and it's fun. And I almost say like when I would be like half in the bag, drunk, whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
it's that youth has come back into my
yeah.
life and it's
Mm-hmm.
like nothing hurts.
Careless and the careless
Careless.
free. Yeah.
Yes. And
Liquid
kind of that
courage is what it is at the end of the
it
day,
is.
man.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Because you wake up hungover and I get the worst hangover anxiety. It's fucking brutal. And
Sorry, I don't
so
know
like
what's going on with my fucking. I'm moving back and forth. Sorry to.
yeah,
Sorry to
yeah.
go. What the
It's
hell?
doing the boogie.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, it's all good. No, it's just the so I don't miss the hangovers. They were really bad, and I've been a hypochondriac since I was 12. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it's like I have a real health anxiety thing. So a weird feeling in my head or a normal tick to somebody that would just be like, oh, fuck all. To me, it's catastrophic. And if I have gas pain, I'm having a heart attack, knock wood, you get a weird jolt in your hand, you're having a stroke, this kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it consumes me. So, like, that's the other thing. Like, when I was drinking for all those years, I never really had the anxiety until I was hungover. And then the heart would race,
Mm-hmm.
the panic. What did I do last night? That stuff would come in. But then what kills that? Just another beer.
Yeah. What's it
So,
called? The hair of the dog, right?
hair of the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So, and I would definitely be involved in those all day long. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's just learning how to kind of sit in the cut, so to speak, and take it for what it is and sit in the anxiety, and it's hard, but I need to do it.
Do you have
I,
any? Sorry, I thought. Sorry, I didn't mean. I
no,
was
no.
just gonna say, do you have any advice for anybody, like from what you're going through? Because you're going through this right now, right? So
Yeah,
this is raw for anybody out there. Like
it is.
he's
Yeah.
in this journey right now. So
Yeah.
anybody that could like struggling that maybe is watching this right now, like, is there anything that you could tell them about like the addiction, how to fight it, like how you're doing it, just like maybe how you're doing it or something like that? And yeah.
Honestly, man, it's leaning on the right people. I'm very grateful that I have a really good support system in place these days. Some very good people in my life that love me, that make me feel not only safe, but heard. My friend's mom tells me all the time, she goes, Adam, you're loved and you're a nice, you're a genuine human and you needed to hear that and you never heard it. So like hearing these things and it comes from someone who like, I'm very big on energies and I can feel
Mhm.
things and I got this gypsy kind of behavior and
Wait, I could feel it right now, man, through the
yeah,
screen.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It comes up, right? So and when I get that same vibe from someone and I really feel it, I feel safe. So that's a big thing is it's not only feeling heard, having someone listen, having someone that's been through the life experiences to give me the advice how to get out of it is a beneficial thing. And also having someone that's going to hold you accountable too,
Yeah.
because it's a big thing. It's my friend and I call it, burning the log. So it's like when you're having the emotions, it's time to burn off those feelings and it's time to throw a
Mhm.
log on the fire and get it
I
going
like that.
and move along, you know? The real
Yeah.
story is a lot more, it's not really appropriate for online, but, now we just call it put another log on the fire. So it's,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but we'll laugh about that one day later.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. I
Yeah.
like that though, like what you just said though too, like, burn the log off, put I like that makes so much sense. I've never heard
Yeah, bro.
anything like that, and it does
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like, and I feel like even today, like, I got up, I had a coffee, and then I had another half a cup of coffee, had a shower. I'm in the shower, and like I like a hot shower, and I could feel my heart beating faster. And of course, it's hot, so your heart's going to beat faster. But then the coffee gave me gas. And then, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm going to drop dead and have a heart attack. So like and then it's like, I have to center myself and I have to figure out, why am I feeling these feelings? Well, we're feeling these feelings because, mom's in the hospital again, or, my brother's been fighting a leg infection for almost a year now, where it's called cellulitis, but he got it on his calf and his shin. So it like consumed his whole fucking leg. And my brother's severely autistic as well. So it's like having that, like, the barrier where like I can't just like, I can be there for him, but like the communication, you can't have that. And then, he's got to go to the hospital for his wound changes. And it's just all this shit, that combines. And like I said, I work in the industry where you're only as good as your last month. So if you have a bad month, it shows, because that's just the way the car business is, right? So it's a lot of compounding things, but it's the realest advice I can give is it's one day at a time.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
If you look towards tomorrow is going to be your day to change, you've already lost. You have to take the day for what it is. And that's it. And it's sitting in the anxiety. And that's what I've really had to do. And when I was in therapy years ago, that's what she used to tell me. She'd say, when you feel these feelings, you have to sit in them. You have to feel them. And now, instead of running for the bottle of vodka or running for food or running for something like that, I just center myself and I take some deep breaths and I really think about what's going on. And I'll put my mind on, a sign or, an address number or the color of a tree or a bird. I know it sounds corny, bro, but it
works. It works. So there's actually methods for that. So holding something cold, even,
Yeah.
Finding like your five senses. So what can you see? What do you smell?
That's right.
And what can you taste in
Touch,
the room?
feel, and
you know
hear.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I know all
100%.
about this, brother.
Yeah. That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So
That's
I know.
Right. So that's what I would do. And a big thing in my life for a long time when I got into my early 20s and into my 30s is I cared so much what everybody thought of me. I really did, man. If one person in the crowd didn't like me, I wore that. Never mind 20 other guys that were like, oh, Adam's great. But that one guy's like, fuck Adam. It's like, well, then his energy I'm taking on. So another thing that I had to learn is that not everyone's going to like you, Adam. That was a big thing. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid, right? So like all this internal shit comes up as we get older and we become adults and we start to figure out what can help us through things and what doesn't help and what we think helps, and we bury it. And that's what I did for a long time. And I buried it in like literally 600 plus pounds of weight and alcohol and gambling addiction. And I'm lucky that I got a second chance at life, and I get a second chance every day. I get to wake up and try to make a difference. But it's sitting in the day to day and not looking ahead a week, a month, a year. I used to do that all the time. I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. And then 6 months would come and I'd lose 10 pounds because I wasn't following the program.
And then be down on yourself probably
100%,
for not doing
100%.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How I like to, how I live my life is I don't accept, God, I'm put on the spot. I can't even think of my own.
I was going to say a quarter mile at a time. A little fast.
Well, no, yeah, a little Fast and the Furious. No, God, I just lost train of thought now. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back to this for a second. I just lost train of thought. And it was on the tip of my tongue. So
I'm
it
there.
happens all the time
you.
on Raw Minds, man. In like half an hour, like near the end of the episode, it'll come. Or another episode, I'll just blurt it out all of a second. Oh yeah. Accept everything, but don't expect anything and accept everything. That's it.
Expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
With changing and growing and with this whole mental health and fixing yourself, it's ugly. It is ugly, man. It's dangerous. Sometimes it can be dangerous. That's why you need that's why you need a good support group around you, know, and it does get ugly because you got to sit in those feelings, man. And those feelings you've been pushing away for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying you, but I'm saying in general, right? Just in general, right? And you've been pushing that shit away for a long time. Of course it's going to be built up, and those feelings are being like, oh, give me some, I'm just gonna explode, and you know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
know this because I've been there. You've been there. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm there right now,
he's
bro. I'm
there
there
right
right
now.
now. Yeah.
Exactly. Why do I
Yeah.
keep on going side to side like I'm a figure skater going? You know. Anyways,
Bobbing and weaving, man.
bombing and weaving. You know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I slept with your mom. Now it burns when I pee. That's my
Deadly.
that's my float like a butterfly.
That's kills.
But anyways, yeah, so I mean, it's ugly, right? You gotta sit in it, and that goes with everything, like depression. You can run away from depression as much as you want,
Oh, yeah.
but and or swim away from it. But you guys gotta understand that these monsters, they can swim, they can run, and they have no stamina. They'll keep on running until it catches up to you. You need to sit with these things. You need to figure this out, and you need to go through these emotions, and be able to, like, that's how you heal yourself. That's how it is, man. And I just want to commend you for doing that, because it's a really hard thing to do. It really is. I've done it, tons, millions of other people have done it, and it's hard, man. It really
Yeah.
is, dude. So I just want
Yeah,
to
no, it
commend
is.
you. And what you're doing too is helping all these people, that's another thing. So not only are you doing your journey, but on top of that is you're showing your journey for people. And that's even a struggle in its own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
got to show up. You got to show up, and but
Yeah,
it keeps you
100%.
accountability too, right? So it helps
Yeah.
with that too.
Yeah, it's been one of those like real educational experiences that like I'm legit living through it, right? So I'm my own test dummy, so to speak. So I throw myself down the stairs every week, and it's working,
You know what the
the
beautiful part
slow.
though? Your kids are watching this,
Yes. I'm very
and you are
grateful for that.
teaching them. You're teaching them, bro. You know what I mean? You're teaching
Yeah.
them true strength. You're
Yeah.
not here teaching them to suck up their feelings and push
No.
it down. You're here.
No, no.
No, but I'm saying you're here through your own actions is teaching them,
Yes.
and you're you're
100%.
you're being a great example for your kids, man. So
I'm trying, bro. It's hard because like I still want them to understand that life is hard. It's not easy.
yeah,
And things are going to come at you full force, and you need to be able to learn how to emotionally pivot without reaching for any kind of like an alcohol or gambling or pot or whatever. And it's one of those things that I'm grateful. I got good kids, man.
yeah.
I all my boys are lacrosse players. They're all pretty good at what they do. I mean, I was nothing of an athlete at all. So it's cool to see me have these children who are athletic kids, and they just seem to amaze me every day. And I'm blessed, man. I am.
It's amazing.
God has blessed me. God
It's
has blessed
amazing,
me,
man.
bro. 100%.
It's
And
amazing.
I'm grateful for that. That's all I can chalk it up to, bro. Is just my journey on my plan.
Would you say that your kids are your why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna put something in your head here. So everybody talks about the why.
Right.
Nobody talks about the how,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And you are explaining to everybody right now how you're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
So see from example, guys. You know what I mean? Like it takes work. I just keep on bringing this up because I want people to see, because you're in this right now. It takes work. It takes true strength to be able to do this, to wake up every day and show yourself, that you know this is the life that I want, and that's what you're doing. And you know what?
Trying.
And the beautiful thing too, man, is you're making all these videos and you're leaving a digital footprint for your kids and for other people out there too.
It's kind of like, see, and I really look at it like that too all the time. I always, and it's so morbid, the thought process, right? But it's true. Like one day, like I don't have a lot of stuff like from my childhood when it comes to videos. Like there's a few tapes that I got transferred to DVDs that are very like on an MP4
Hmm.
disc or whatever. It's maybe a couple hours of stuff that I can watch as like things have progressed through my life. But nothing like what I've done now. So when I get older and my kids who get older, like they have a social media platform and they're at 56,000 followers now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And they've done like, they do like kind of jackass style things. They do flips off bridges and ride scooters down hills, and but they've done pretty good. They're at like 500 million views total now across social
Hell
media. And
yeah, man.
yeah, man. So like I built that for them, because instead of how I was, I got screwed with a lot growing up, and I never felt like the in kid or the cool kid or anything like that. And with social media being so big and flipping that into building that platform for them, we're like, we'll be in the mall, no shit, and they'll be like, "Hey, you're the kids from Instagram. That's cool. Can I get a picture with you?" A friend of mine that I grew up with who lives on Vancouver Island, my son was at a lacrosse tournament, and her son was like, "I follow you on Instagram. Can I have a picture with you?" And then she sends me the picture, and I've known her for 20 years.
That's
It was
crazy.
it was wild, but it's like it's just that we all have a plan, bro. It's
Yeah.
already mapped out for us. And that's another thing that I had to learn too. When things are bad in my life, there's a reason for it. When I hit a red light, there's a reason I hit the red light. If something's not working, and as I get older, things really they jive really good for me. So if something's not hitting, there's a reason why, and I just let it figure out. I just let it happen, why it's supposed to be. And not to say like I don't rush anymore. I think I'm okay being present. And I never
Yeah.
was for a long time,
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way that I like to say, like, I live today,
That's right, bro.
I could step outside, man, and a fucking, I don't know,
Meteor could
something.
hit your house.
Buddy, in Coquitlam, did you hear that? You know what I mean? I
That's
don't
what
know
I'm
if you
saying,
guys
dog.
know, but in Coquitlam
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
9:10 last night, a meteor came, I guess, in sonic boom into Coquitlam, right? Or something
Yeah.
like that. That's what I heard. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, exactly, man. Like anything could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So live it today. I mean, like I make goals. Don't get me wrong. Make goals, right? But
Yeah.
don't get upset if you don't fucking make them. Get close, whatever, man. It's not the
That's
end of
right.
the world. At least
No.
you're trying, and that is
Correct.
the biggest thing is moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a minuscule or it's a foot or 10
Yeah.
feet or a mile. You're still moving forward.
There's a term that I like that just came into my mind. It's called a puncher's chance. You ever heard of that?
Never.
It's a boxing term where like, a little guy can go against a big guy, and everyone's always got a puncher's chance in life to
Yeah.
like be able
Okay.
to survive. So I look at it like this: if you can wake up and still swing to change your life, don't stop swinging,
Yeah.
even when it's hard. And I mean like physically hard, like being so emotionally in dread that you can't even get out of bed. Take a deep breath, move your legs off the bed and get out of bed. Drink a glass of water, look outside. If you're in a basement suite and life's really shitty, walk up your stairs and go in the backyard. If you don't have a backyard, go to your front yard. There's got to be a park around. If there's no park around, find the nearest tree, look at the tree. And I truly mean that.
Yeah.
Find something beautiful that you can really fall in love with at that moment to take your mind off how you were feeling, and look what you accomplished. A minute ago, you didn't even want to get out of bed. Now you're outside looking at something beautiful
Yeah, man.
that you can't
definitely.
control. But you know what you controlled? Your mindset to get out of bed and make the change.
Hell yeah, man.
And it's as simple as that. Those little things that you can do. Like today, bro, we were scheduled to do this yesterday, and I don't know if it was the full moon or the meteor or what the heck was going on, but I was just a wreck yesterday. And even this good part of today, I was really uptight and emotional and feeling really shitty. And then I'm just so grateful we're here, because this is what it was supposed to be. This was supposed to happen.
Yeah, man.
And I don't mean like we had an appointment. It's like fate made this happen.
And you're gonna walk away from this probably and feel good. Like every time I do an episode, man, I feel great.
Yeah.
It's unloading and changing and helping people too, and giving this information out to the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and it makes me feel good. I walk away from every episode that I record, or even pre-calls, these pre-interviews. I
Yeah.
walk away and it almost like fills my bucket, like because I'm trying to help, in
I
a
really
sense,
do,
right?
bro. I really
You
do.
know?
I really know that feeling. And it's a gift that you can't buy.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
No.
And that's why I want to do this life coaching, And like you're saying is like get up, go outside. Like these are some of the things that I have in my program. One of the first non-negotiable thing in all of my programs is wake up and make your bed. Even if
Yeah.
that's the only thing that you do that day. Wake up because the first thing you do is you wake up, right? You make your bed. Now you just destroyed your day with a goal. You just crushed a goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You won. You
You
won
won.
that day.
Exactly. And then the next thing, go over and open the blinds, man, and look outside, you know?
100%, man.
And then the next day, go open the blinds and then go outside if that's what it takes. Because I've been struggling. Like, I mean, I've struggled to the point where I couldn't even get out of bed for days. You know what I mean? Because my
Yeah.
depression. And anybody out there that knows it knows what it's like, right? And it's the simple little things is just make your bed, one little goal, and that's all. Like sometimes it's hard to even go have a shower because your depression is so hard. You know what I mean? So
You
if
know,
you
it's
can go ahead.
sorry to cut you off. No,
No,
it's
go.
just it's crazy to think about that because on my way to work this
Thanks for
morning, I was at the corner of 207th and Lougheed, and I was feeling really fucked up and just emotional, right? And I saw a blind guy walking and using his cane to see where the fire hose thing was and where the curb was. And I thought for a second, I go, buddy, you could be fucking blind having to learn to walk with a cane. You're driving to work to get a chance to make a difference, and you get to go have a conversation with somebody from the same community as you, trying to save people's lives. Look what we get to do.
Mhm.
Not saying that I mean, it's I've had two blind uncles, so I get it. It's being blind, it's terrible. And it put me where instead of feeling sorry that I was going through a tough bout in my life currently, I was grateful that it wasn't tougher,
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
could always be tougher.
definitely, man.
The cards could always not only stack against us, but the house could always fall too, right?
Well, that's exactly it, and like that's what I try to teach my daughter all the time too. Oh, this TikTok's sorry, it's telling me thinks that I'm fake. So that's why I try to teach my daughter too. Is like she's like, she'll get mad over like these little things or whatnot, right? And I'll be like, look, like you got to be thankful, that you have a house. We have food in our fridge. That we have all these things. You're thankful that you can go on the internet. You can play your games if you need to, or watch the TV, or go out with your friends. There's people in war countries, you know what I mean, that can't do
So
this.
true, bro. So
You know what
true.
I mean? And
Yeah.
I just probably when I started this podcast is when I started really being thankful. Like my girl yesterday, she's because my birthday's coming up on April 4th. And she's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, I don't want anything really. I just want to have a dinner with you, and my daughter and just chill at home. Like I don't need this, go to some restaurant, spend some money. It's not about she's like, but I want to do something nice. I want to do something, you deserve it. Make me a dinner then,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
she just moved in, so we don't really have a table. I'm like, fuck it, we'll put it on the floor. We'll eat on the floor. I don't give a shit
100%.
about that,
Have, have a home picnic.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
For
care
sure.
about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's about, the interaction and being there and being present with the person. It's not about all these like gifts and all that. And she'd be like, let me buy you something. I'm like, okay, well, get me socks then. Get me socks for my birthday. She's like, well, I got you
Something you
socks.
need.
Yeah, she's like, I got you socks Christmas. I'm like, okay, well, get me underwear. She's like, no, I want to get you something, you know?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just
No,
like, yeah, man.
I'm with you, bro. We last year for my birthday, I didn't want anything. We went and we fed the homeless in Coquitlam.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Me and my family, we made a bunch of sandwiches and went and some pops, and we went down to the Rain City camp just by Coquitlam Center there. I mean, it was pretty rough down there, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy, and but that's what I wanted to do. I didn't, same as you, bro. I didn't want some big extravagant thing. I didn't, and I think maybe it's just the fact that I'm grateful to be where I am, and
Hmm.
if I can help someone on my day, then that it means the world to me, and that's what we did.
Yeah, beautiful,
You
man.
know, shout
Yeah.
out to Matt from Beans and Greens because he's the one that put it in my head to do that.
There you go, Matt from Beans and
Yeah,
Greens. I always see him
yeah,
on TikTok here,
yeah.
man.
That
I
guy's a
always see his,
beauty,
yeah.
man.
Oh, he is a beauty, man. I love like I just actually watched a video where he went and saw this other guy. He sells hot dogs, and he got a
Yeah,
whole stand.
Lully's.
Did you see it? Yeah,
Abby,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, bro. Yeah,
yeah,
Lully's is
yeah.
fire too. If you're ever in Abbey, man, you got to try them. They're huge, bro. And he's such a character too. No ketchup though. So I like ketchup, so I keep a pack on me. You know what I mean? But I can't really eat hot
Was
dogs
he
anymore.
the sandwich Nazi? That's what they called him,
No,
or
no,
something?
no, no.
Okay,
That no. I don't want to mess the pronunciation. That was Salam, and
salam. Okay,
he was in Port Kells on 96. Now that guy was wild, bro.
I heard
That
about
guy
that.
was
I wish
wild.
I
Yeah.
went there, but I heard like, is it still running or?
No, no, he's been gone for like I want to say 7 years.
Okay.
But I mean, like, man, So my dad's shop was like 5 blocks down, and we used to go there probably once a week. And what a theatrical experience! And it was like off the rip, this guy, but it was very like, if you're kind of like, you're not into certain shit, like he had a picture of him in lingerie on the tip jar. And if you'd give him a tip, he'd say, "You'll be the first to see my ass after hair removal." And he'd always say the same shit. But I mean, bro, you couldn't beat the sandwiches, $8,
Yeah.
and you could eat the meat for 3 days.
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
got a friend of mine who was, when he was younger, he'd buy 3 sandwiches and that would feed him all week, and it was $24.
Wasn't he like kind of like no soup for
So
you?
no cell phones was his thing. If you pulled the phone out of his shop, he'd give you like one reminder. But if you thought that you were like, these certain entitled people these
Yeah.
days that are like, I'll do whatever the fuck I please. Well, no, you won't. Get the fuck out. And he wouldn't. So like, imagine you got, mechanics, truck drivers, salesmen, like all kinds of walks of people in this place. And then you got some guy that's got his phone out trying to film what's happening.
Mhm.
And he's like, no, get out. And he just would stop procession until Buddy got out.
And everybody would be pissed too, especially
Straight
the blue
up.
collars.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Get out, man.
Yeah.
But that's real talk. That's how that shit would go. Yeah, man. I remember like some old, like my buddy's grandma would always go in there. She's Finnish, and she would, I don't think she understood what he was saying, but he was quite wild.
Yeah, I heard. He was a
Yeah,
legend.
yeah.
He was a legend. A spoke around legend.
100%, man. He was
And
the
when
guy.
I say like sandwich Nazi, it's not like the Nazis
No.
like that. Not like
No,
that.
no,
He was very
no.
strict. Like he was just
Yeah.
strict,
I
right?
mean, Seinfeld did it, right?
Yeah,
The soup
same.
guy.
It's the same thing, soup Nazi, but this guy was
Yes.
a sandwich Nazi and
Yeah, he was, bro. And they were unreal. They were good.
yeah, that's awesome. I wish I got to go, but it is what it is. It'll be in my memories forever. That's about it.
True that.
So we're at the end, brother. So I'd like to get you to just plug all your shit one last time.
Yeah.
Where people can get a hold of you, brother.
Thank you. So Big Adam 604 on Instagram, Adam Boyd on Facebook, it's Adam's Weight Loss Journey is TikTok and YouTube. Saints and Sinners is all across North America. Chapters, Indigo, I think they're the same thing. Barnes and Noble, Apple, Amazon, we're everywhere. The book it's a story that I just wanted to write, and the goal is one day to see it on the big screen. That's the goal. I met with a Hollywood producer 2 years ago. Great guy. He wrote a book or a movie called Bandit. For you guys, if you want a cool Canadian about bank robbers, it's called Bandit. Movie's unreal. But I met with him and he told me to write a book about it. He's like, write a book, and then once the book sells, then you can maybe get it into a script. So I took his advice. I wrote the book, and it's a cool story, man.
Hell
The
yeah,
club
brother.
is called the Gypsy Flyers. I thought of that off the rip. I'm from Ukrainian, Romanian heritage myself. So, my great grandmother was a gypsy. So I get these premonitions, and that's what I named it. And it's cool. It's a little bit of everything, but you get it all in that baby, and it's good, and
Fuck yeah.
it's cheap. It's affordable.
Well, I can't wait to see it on the big screen, man. I think
Me
it's
too,
a great. Honestly, I think it's a great like structure. The structure is there, man. It fucking is there, dude.
It is. Yeah, even for
know?
TV, bro. Like if somebody, I mean, if by chance somebody sees this and they're writers for television or for film, bro, it's the rights are for sale.
Well, I think fucking rights.
You bet. You betcha.
I think I saw something similar, not exactly, but I think it was like with Yakuza and something else.
Okay.
And two of them grew up in, but it's not like this over a girl or something, but it was something similar.
Is it one a cop or something?
Yeah, cop. One's a cop and one's or something like that. I think it was Yakuza. I could be wrong, but for some reason I'm thinking it's popping in my head. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's what's the movie called? Somebody in the comments will know it, but I've seen the movie before. But no, honestly, bro, it was a Bronx Tale, Sleepers, Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy,
just a mix of everything.
Me growing up, I have a brother. I love him very much. His name's Hudson. He's an absolute gem. But I never got a chance to be able to, I can't call him and be like, "Hey, bro, how you doing? Can you come pick me up?" Or, "Hey, I'm fucked up. Can you, help me?" So it's like I always kind of craved that attention. That not attention's the wrong word. that the nurturing aspect from a relative, so to speak. And so, I try to push that with my own sons too when they scrap. I'm always like, yo, you guys better get along because you don't
Yeah.
know what it's like to not have each other. You know what I mean?
See, I know how that, like, I would feel like that about my dad. I'd see
Yeah.
all these other people, all these other like guys are my friends, and they're having fun with their dad. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
me, I
bro.
never really got that. So that's what I'm trying to do with my
I hear
daughter.
you.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
give that back. You know what I
And
mean?
bless you
So,
for that, bro. And please,
yeah.
it's oh man, it's yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I know, brother. I know.
Yeah.
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 So I'm trying to give it. Well, I just want to say, brother, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
I would maybe talk to you maybe in a week or so here if I can, to reach out, because I'm working on my memoir. So maybe you can give me a
Yeah.
couple little tips and pointers and
Love
stuff.
to.
Would be great, man.
Love to, bro.
So talk offline about that. But I just want to say thank you, man. Anybody that you're listening, in the bio, everything's in the bio. You'll be able to find Adam, his book, all his socials, all in the bio. Check it out. And you go lives on Fridays, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a new video. So week 59 is on Friday.
There you go. So head over to his Instagram and show some love.
Please. I'd be very grateful. Thank you very much.
And there's no excuse, because this episode comes out on Friday at 9 a.m. So you got all fucking day to go over there and show him some love. So you fucking better.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Well, thank you again, man. I appreciate you coming out, and thank you, everybody. And I guess we'll see you next week. So thank you again. Take it easy. Bye. There we go.